Currently 3-month rate as of yesterday, 481,357. Let's do the monthly stuff here. Month, long, or delete. Where is it? 4.81357. 6-month is 5.143. Let's make these. And actually, let's do it this way. Effective annual rate. That's 1-year compound rate. Excel has a function called effect. What Excel calls nominal, we call APR. The second argument is number of periods per year. That's basically 12 over that. Then we can calculate it that way, okay? Let me see. Inputs, outputs, but you need to calculate those effective annual rates and put it in place of those. So 3-month forward 3-month rate is actually 543, all right? The only difference is this whole setup is based on number of periods, okay? And that number of period doesn't have to be an integer number. When interest rates are quoted on an APR basis, to be able to use here, I need to convert that into effective annual rate, which this setup already does that. So if I wanted 1 month forward or 6 months forward, 12-month rate. What is 12-month rate? Let me first copy this and paste it here. And 533,757. And that's going to be 0.51. Copy. It's going to be 551. I basically have a machinery to calculate the forward rates, all right? Either using monthly stuff or the annual stuff. Let me, I got about 20 minutes. Let me briefly talk about at some point we're going to talk about these, but there are these. We're going to talk about tips. These are Treasury inflation protected securities. These give you a return by protecting you from inflation. And the way they do it, every 6 months, they actually index your principal by inflation, and you get your interest payments based on that index principal. And at the end, at the maturity, you actually get that index principal back. So on an inflation, whether inflation is 5% or 100%, in terms of purchasing power, you get exactly the same amount of money plus the real interest. So I kind of look at the break-even inflation implied by bond prices. Let me move this one to here. So let's enter the nominal and real numbers for 5-year and 10 years. Well, let's see. I can quickly get this here. US 5 years. Currently 3591 is nominal, and the real for the tips is 1341. Let me let's do the same thing for 10 years. 3477 239. Now, here's what that break-even inflation means. It says you have two alternatives. You can either invest into the 5-year regular treasury bonds, or you can invest into 5-year tips. For those two investments to be equivalent, the inflation that you're expecting should be for 5-year average about 222. If you think inflation is going to be higher than that, you want to go for the tips. If you think inflation is going to be lower than that, you want to go for the nominal ones. And same thing for 10 years. That's also kind of, in a sense, market's expectation of future inflation. Market expects that inflation is going to average about 222 over the next 5 and 10 years. Fed's long-term target is about 2, so it's not too bad, right? This is so-called 5-year inflation. Fed actually looks at this number. It's called 5-year forward, 5-year break-even inflation. And since these two are pretty much similar, it's not going to matter too much. For example, if you look at the 30 years, not 130, 30, 596, 396. Well, I could have done it. I'm not going to do it. I leave it to you. Let me actually move this to the other sheets. All right. Since today is day where at 2 o'clock, Federal Open Market Committee, which is the decision arm of Federal Reserve on monetary policy. They're going to announce what they're going to do to the Fed funds rate. You can figure out what the market thinks they're going to do using Fed funds rate futures. This is so-called 30-day Fed funds rates futures. These are bets on the monthly average of effective federal funds rate during the contract month.